Hey guys, it's me, it's RDV, and I'm here with Skip and Tosh. Or Skip.
Hey, hey, what's up, everyone?
We're here to talk about top 5 books from our pull list. Obviously, I have my 5 books. I mean, it's a huge week for me. There are multiple books coming out all at the same freaking time. It always does this for me. That fifth week. So, I mean, how many do you got in your pull list apart from these 5?
I
Just
have,
curious.
apart from the 5, just
Yeah.
one. I only have a total of 6.
Okay. Well, ain't that bad. Well, I'm following indie books, but I'm also got some Marvel and some DC books I'm getting this week as well. So it's
Nice.
adding a bit. And then I was looking at variant covers too. Dark Crisis got some nice variant covers coming out this week. But
Right on.
I'm also trying to avoid the incentive covers.
Yeah, those ones, man, they'll get you, but there's some really good ones, so I get gotten every now and then myself.
All right. So, Maranya, you're the only one watching other than me on my phone. That's right. We're competing against another guy who decided to do an auction on our night. Yep. So, who knows? For those who actually are watching on the repeat, I hope you enjoy this. We'll keep it short and sweet for you. No further ado, we'll get to the books here. All right. So, Skip, you're my guest. I'll let you go first with your number 5.
Sounds good. My number 5 is Mind Management Bootleg number 3. Mind Management Bootleg number 3. That one is from Dark Horse Comics. It is the.
How far down is it?
It might be
there
pretty
it
far
is.
down there. It's Mind Management. There we go.
Scrolling forever.
Matt Kent as the writer.
Nice.
Bill Crabtree as the artiste. And I am getting the $7 version that comes with the card, and it's polybagged because
I mean, I like this one.
just all about Matt Kent like that. I do like those covers. Those covers have been really cool too. And if my budget was better, I would be collecting those ones also. But for now, I'm just grabbing these. It's been really interesting. It's a continuation of the Mind Management series that Matt Kent had started. I have not read all of that series yet, but this is also his first comic being published from his imprint, Flux House, through Dark Horse Comics. So I was obliged to support Matt Kent because I believe that he is one of the best, and if not best, at the very least, most interesting writers in comics right now. So Mind Management number 3 is where I'm going. I think this is the penultimate issue, so we got one more to finish up this series, but it's definitely kooky. It's weird. It kind of feels like a underground comic. The Dan Klaus, kind of OG Michael Allred style deal. Feels more like a comic that you would get from Fantagraphics, but
It's like the main cover here looks like an Adult Swim cover. Basically, like the type of humor.
that does look a little Adult Swimish. I can agree with you there. But it's and this one is not as cerebral as I was hoping that would be. It is kind of psyops style espionage type deal, and it's odd, and it's got some of the weird things that Matt Kent does. Like I had mistakenly fallen for, because like he tricks you in the book, mind management. So it's like all mind tricks and stuff like that. There were some pages in the first and the second one that the way that it read, they were just supposed to be like extras, like, oh, hey, if you want to see how we wrote this, like what the script looks like, this is what the script looks like. And this is what the script looks like from page 23. But when you start reading it, that's not what happened on page 23. It's actually a continuation of the story. And I missed that the first 2 issues, and Nalo had to tell me, like, no, go back. He was just messing with you, like he tricked you. It's actually the continuation of the story. And I ended up liking those pages better than like the actual drawn comic. So I'm glad that glad that I talked to that with Nalo because it definitely
So
increased my enjoyment of the book.
so this is a book by the guy who's right. For those who don't know who Matt Kinn is, Matt Kinn's actually been doing the Berserker book, Keanu Reeves.
Correct. Hmm.
So if you like that and you kind of want to see what he's doing outside of that, this sounds like a mind twister.
Yeah, this one's a mind twister. I've read a little of Berserker, or whatever it is, and it's
Yeah,
not. It's
different
it's
than what
got
normal does.
some of that is in there, but it is a little different. So you'll feel some of that in there, but it's definitely much more bizarre than Berserker. But yeah,
Which,
hey, if you
hey,
if you want something weird, it's worth checking out. But
I
that's my
mean,
number five.
I look at it this way. I mean, I like
Hmm.
this book, the mind management book, but then I can see some similarities in the Berserker sometimes. You know, it's cool to see.
Hmm.
It's cool to see what these people because yeah, I like when people can actually go outside the warehouse, and it sounds like it's doing a good job. It's obviously on issue 3 now.
Hmm.
It's a 4 issue thing. Uh, and it's 32 pages. Now keep in mind though, it's Dark Horse. You're paying $4. You're basically it's an indie book that's still the same price as a Marvel or DC book. So, and these guys have confidence in themselves. They have that price. Anyone else been like, well, here's $2 or or $2.99 or $1.99. Um, Obviously, Matt Kinn has been around for a while. I think he's done. I'm trying to figure out what else he's done before in the past. I know he's done some other books. Not as popular though as Berserker. I think Berserker is like his most popular book right now because of Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, next most popular thing besides mind management would have probably been ENIAC, since it was a big deal. It was the
Yeah,
first comic release from Bad Idea,
yeah,
and it was like $500 on eBay the first day it came out because how rare it was. So that would probably be the next biggest thing. But next to that, he was a big part of the Valiant Comics Renaissance. So him working on uh dang it, how am I forgetting? Exo Manowar, and he worked on Bloodshot with Jeff Lemire. So
I, I,
when last time Valiant was
yeah,
really good, Matt Kent was on there writing it. So he's really good when it comes to like warrior type stuff, combat type stuff that has like a espionage or cerebral kind of twist to it. He's really good with that stuff. And then he did write like some Justice League stuff and whatnot
that's
in
cool.
the I think before the 2010s.
I will say this though, if I don't like the book, I at least got a decent cover.
Yeah, yeah, cover's rad. Like again, I'll say this is more for Matt Kent fans than it is or Matt Kent fans or people that just want a weird and wacky, like kind of psyops tale story to read, and both of those suit my interest. But yeah, that's my book at issue number five. What do you got, RDV?
All right. Go to my number 5. My number 5 is going to be a book that's actually I can't believe this issue 2 is already out. Issue 1, I feel like it just came out last week, but it didn't. Scroll down to it. It's a little further down the list. It's actually Black Lotus number 2.
Nice.
Uh, I watched the show. It was show what they had it on from the Adult Swim, and then the next day they uploaded the Crunchyroll. So I mean, if you have Crunchyroll, you can get that, and then I'll include the cover. It's your pal Danny.
Hey, hey.
Hey, hey. It takes place after the events of the anime series, So if you enjoy the anime series, I think the first issue is done so well. I still get the same kind of feeling. It's like it's just like whenever you watch like a cartoon or something, you have those voice actors in your head for those roles. So when I read this, I'm just getting the same kind of role, same voice actor. Jessica Hardwick, the
Mm-hmm.
one who was in Love and Monsters and also was in Iron Fist. She played Colleen Wing. Was the main character, voice actor. The character is based off of her looks. I don't want to. I mean, I don't want to explain really much about the series. I'd say recommend go check out the anime. And if you like that, you're definitely gonna enjoy this. And this is done by I believe Titan Comics. Yeah, Titan Books.
Titan.
So,
Yep.
um, like I said, I've it's a strong female protagonist. She's not a Mary Sue. I mean, she's not really human either, too. So I'll just tell you that much. So, uh, but yeah, I just love the whole point of like of an android, or I guess you call it replicant going and
Hmm.
then basically going up against the system. Blade Runner, we all know it. Blade Runner, it's all about the corporation. Everything is this freaking evil. It's a
Yep.
replicant company.
Tyrell.
Yeah, the Matt Tyrell company has been taken over by something else, and just like it's just, I just love that they keep that theme going. You have corrupt cops, you have but you also have gangs in here too and stuff. It's I just love the cyberpunk, man, and I think this captures pretty well. But it's also kind of it's almost, as I was reading issue one, it's almost kind of like Paradiso in a sense. She goes to like these little outskirt towns outside of these huge cyberpunk cities. You have these little,
Hmm.
yeah. So it's like they're like little towns, and they're just trying to survive. Because well, and I mean, I'm not sure if this is keeping in line with Blade Runner
Hmm.
2049, where Las Vegas is a desert, but they do have like little desert towns people are living in. So
Oh, right
and
on.
so yeah, so that was it's continuing from the series. Now she's being hunted down by the company. Belmont's basically doesn't wants her back. It's a different bad guy though. It's not the same one for the show.
Okay.
But yeah, yeah, Nancy A. Collins. I'm not sure what else she's written before, but I'm enjoying the series. I'm not getting out. That's my number one thing I was afraid about. I was like, okay, the show was legitimately good. Like, I hope the person who's writing it is not going to like woke it up or to just make it like it all has nothing. Basically, change the whole entire personality of the character. The character is still the same as she was in the show. Um, and then you got these cool covers too. That's the thing I hate about variants because like I love the concept covers. Look at that.
That is dope. Is that another Sid Mead cover?
I'm not sure who this is. It's this cover concept C. So it's probably one of these either V Glass or it's John Gallagher. I'm guessing it's probably VV Glass. I'm guessing, but nah, I was like that's so cool. It's like little anime stuff.
Yeah,
Animation.
absolutely. I love all those Sid Mead covers.
So maybe it is a Sid. I mean, it's just they're not giving him credit or something, or someone who's just basically just copying his style. But
Maybe most of the time those ones are Sid Meads. I could be wrong, but a lot of the time it
yeah,
will say it on there most of the time.
yeah. So basically, yeah, she's on the outskirts of Los Angeles. She left Los Angeles, and now she's like on like uh, living her life after she got revenge in the series. So it's like moving on, but now she's a new enemy coming after her, and she makes new allies. So yeah, that's my number. That's my number five. I mean, there's so many books that are coming out this week that I really want to get, but I'm trying to narrow it down to five. It's like you know, last
It's
week was
tough, man.
last week, man, was easy, man. This week, it's just when you throw all those books at the same time in one week, that's when it starts to get like crazy. But all right, let's go to your number four.
All right, number four. Let me get back over to my number four because I was not ready with my number
Oh, actually, let me
four.
read up. Let me read up Undead Quinn. He just said his Starhenge book one, Dragon the Board, number three. This is number five. All right.
Oh, okay, so you're sticking with Starhenge, huh?
Yep.
That's cool. Yeah, I took a peek in that book again the other day, and the art just looked so good. Alrighty, so my number four, well, actually, that one's going to be a little higher. Let's go with my number four as being Sword of Azrael number two.
Ah.
Sword of Azrael number two. DC Comics, Dan
There
Waters on the script, Nicola Chismesia.
it's just,
I'm pretty
I don't
sure
know.
that's not how you pronounce it. It looks
Nicola.
like
It's
Nicola.
something.
It looks like a. I don't even want to say what name it looks like, but
It looks Brazilian.
you think Brazilian? I was thinking like like Croatian.
Something like that. Because of the J at the end. It's
Yeah, and like the C with close to the Z. It reminds me of some stuff like that, like Bielitsa. We had
Yeah.
Bielitsa, Nemanja Bielitsa on our team anyway. But Dan Waters and Nicola C on the art. It's a just a very fitting
Oh, it's got Lady Bane.
conclude. Yes, yep, or yeah, whatever Bane's daughter's name is. I don't know what is Bane's daughter's name. I
Everyone's
can't
got a daughter
remember.
now these days.
Yeah, I mean, I know she's. I think she's been around for a while. I don't think she's really new, but
No,
it
no,
seems
no.
like
I always forget that he has a daughter because when you've seen like little, usually like the person who has a daughter as a villain is usually Deathstroke. Now Bane has a daughter. It's just like
right. Yeah, the
dual dent.
Deathstroke.
How many more?
Rose, is that her name? Rose. I don't know. Anyway, it's yeah, really fitting tale, really fitting conclusion, to where Azrael would be right now with everything that's happened to his past. He's trying to change. He's trying to rid himself of the programming, the Azrael protocol, if you will, from the
Yeah,
Order of Saint Dumas, and
yep.
he's trying to live his life as a like a monastery, at a
Monk. Yeah,
monastery. He wants to be a monk, and still wants to serve God, but wants to serve God through peace and caring and service, as opposed to, I mean, well, like, non-violent service, as opposed to, being, effectively, the vengeance of the Lord, the angel of death, so to speak. And now we're starting to learn that the Order of Saint Dumas isn't, wasn't the only order. There were others, Knights Templar and different things like that,
it makes
that
sense.
may
Yeah.
have had their own angels, to kind of go beyond it, almost as a failsafe in case one of them, failed and wasn't able to achieve it, or went rogue or whatever. So now the story's starting to open up a little bit, and it's really good. Like, so it's very respectable, or very respectful to the, Christian Catholic, background and religion of Azrael, while also making the story interesting, bringing in some characters that have already been established, and then also introducing some new ones. My only criticism of the book really is the art, and the art isn't bad. It's really good, but just sometimes it gets into like a very kind of
Yeah.
modern, almost Pokemon style art, where it's like
Oh
the
no.
top half is suitable, and then like the bottom half is like, pointy triangle, like anime feet. So it's just, that's the only thing, and that's a stylistic thing. It does that very well, but it's just, for as serious as the book gets, sometimes the
uh,
art does not match the serious tone of the book at times.
like
That's my only
this.
thing.
That's the main cover is done by the main artist.
Um, yes. I mean, and even that's like good, but you can kind of see some of it, especially around Azrael. Like, it kind of starts to get kind of blocky, kind of chunky. More, it
Look,
kind of starts to look more like a toy
his
instead
fists.
of
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. But I mean, like, especially on his head. Like, if you look at his head and his shoulder, like, proportions, and just the, like, how it's rendered, it kind of looks more like a toy, or like a video game kind of style
It
than
looks
it
more. It looks
does.
more like manga slash anime. A little bit
Right. Right. While
cartoon. Yeah.
Bane's daughter is like is more suitable, and more of how, I think even the character, like in between both of them, I feel like those are better renderings and stylistic
So
choices for the book, as
here's the
opposed to
question: does she use the
Azrael.
venom at all?
We haven't gotten that far into it. She just
Okay.
showed up at the, because this is just
Oh,
issue number
okay.
2, so she just showed up
The
at the
cover doesn't show her
end
having
of issue
any.
number 1.
Just shows her wearing the luchador mask and nothing else. So that's what I was
Right.
wondering.
Yeah.
It's like she's got some big thighs. But then again, if she's Latino, who knows?
Yeah, man. You just
So you
hit
don't
your
know.
squats, and
Yeah, right.
eat your chicken breast, baby.
Yeah,
That's all you gotta do.
there's a lot of those UFC women. They bulk up and their legs are like, oh my gosh, it's like it's all muscle. It's like
Hmm.
it's all
Oh
toned.
yeah. The
It's
better
like
the leg kick you with, my dear.
baby.
But yeah. So, but this
Yeah,
is, I mean, if you want a straightforward, book, if you're interested in Azrael, if you read, um, Arkham City: The Order of the World by Dan, Waters and Danny,
yeah.
who RDV was just talking about, that that kind of had Azrael in there. And if you want to see the progression of where he got left off at, this book has been quite satisfying so far, and it really focuses on the story and script. I haven't gotten any noise, so to speak, from it yet.
So I'm looking at the covers. For me, I would go either with the incentive one, the 125, because
Mm-hmm.
this is John Plow Valley, whatever, or Gene, whatever we call him, by himself.
Mm-hmm.
Looks kind of cool. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but then I'm looking at this. Is like this is the 1 in 50. The only thing that's going for this is they're throwing like in the 90s logo.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
It's even got the OG '90s
yeah,
graphic for the series title.
yep.
Yep, that's how it
Like,
was back then when they were writing it. When I was buying it when I was
so
younger.
I heard a rumor they were bringing that back. Is it only for the 1 in 50 incentives now? It's like a whole, like, because I mean, you're gonna have your normal. It's just this is the B cover, which is usually
Mm-hmm.
your dollar more variants.
Yeah, that card
That sh-
stock.
that should have your 90s logo on it. They should do the B stock. But instead, it looks like they're gonna make you pay more for incentives. Maybe it's just for this one. But I'm just getting sick and tired of this though. The miniseries, the logo, and this 2 of 6. It just looks tacky to me. But
Yeah, I don't think it looks great, but I do appreciate the transparency of it.
well, yeah, it tells you what it is. I mean, the only like I was talking to Ash about this. The only problem why I have both books today is the fact they don't tell if it's a crossover title on the cover of the book. It should tell you, hey, be sure to check out this book. Continue in the next book. Or at the end of the book.
Mhm.
They do this for Superman covers. They would do that because if you have the 3 titles going and they cross over the story, it could continue through every title would go to the next title, and then on the cover of the actual book, it actually said, or the inside cover, it says like continued in this coming out next week. You know?
Mhm.
So that's the only my problem with current DC. But yeah, I mean Azrael. I mean I 90s stuff. I've watched. I read with him in No Man's Land. I thought he was a decent character in No Man's Land. I saw him in when he was in the Catwoman book, crossover with the Catwoman book, where he took over for Batman and was became obsessed with like catching her, and then he fell in love with her. I was like, this guy is a complete like he's just breaking down. He's it's like so. I mean, the last time I saw Azrael in a comic book I read was Odyssey, Justice League Odyssey. He was in there.
Okay,
Yeah, so
makes sense.
and I thought he was written well in that one. So it sounds like people are like enjoying this. You're picking this up. You're not a Cape guy, but you're picking up Azrael. That's cool. That means
Yeah,
I got
absolutely.
means I got to check this out then.
Yeah, I'll check it out. Dan Waters is one of my favorite writers. He's in that creative crew with Rom V. It's like a creative collective, and they just do really good work, especially when they get to just kind of when they just focus on story, and that's what they do majority of the time. They you know, like I'm not one of the people to say
Yeah,
completely leave politics out of comics, but I can tell you, I in most cases I'd rather it not be in there unless it's like a political thriller or like that's the whole point of the book. And I can tell you, most of the time, their books don't deal with any of that. Their books just deal with the characters, with the like I don't want to say ideology, but the philosophy of the characters, and
yes,
just good stories. And I think that's why they've been sticking around and getting farther. So, and I did like, and Dan Waters and Danny worked on Arkham City, The Order of the World. So I wanted to continue to follow Azrael's story from
true.
there, and I was just happy that it like really respects the past. Like for me to not read a bunch about Azrael, since when I was picking the book up when I was a kid, and to jump in to see like, oh yeah, I forgot about that, and oh yeah, he put that in there. It's like he did his homework and he's respecting it and we know so many writers we complain how they come in and they don't respect continuity. It's like you never read the book, and like they just don't respect it. Dan Waters
Deconstruction
did.
and then and rebuilding of the character. Azrael is a character. He's so obscure. I think that you could get away with changing him a little bit.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like Azrael would be one of the people where you probably wouldn't hear as many. You would hear some, but you probably wouldn't hear as many because he doesn't have like a huge fan base. But Dan
No,
Waters says, you know what? No, I'm just going to go ahead and respect it. I'm going to go ahead and respect the people that have been invested in a character, and I'm going to find a way to build on top of the character. And don't get me wrong, there is a little bit of, I don't want to say like deconstruction. There is some reconstruction, but it doesn't disrespect anything. It respects everything, and that's a wonder these days. We value that. So anyway,
keeping
that's my
keeping
number
his
four.
keeping his story like faith based and all that stuff, around there, the order and stuff.
Yeah.
Introducing another order, like it sounds like a common trope you'd see a lot of things. It's like, oh, you thought there was only one. It turns out like there's 5 more, and they all hate each other. All competing to be the number one. Like he's the top guy. So
That's definitely
yeah.
a common trope. So I don't want to say he's reinventing the wheel,
No,
but he
no,
is
no, no.
using
But
like
he's
good tropes to build
yes,
on top of them. Because I mean, in my mind, I was just like, oh yeah, it's like denominations within fakes. You got Sunni Muslims, you got Shia Muslims, you got we were talking before, you got Lutherans, you got apostolic, you got so many different like denominations within
yep.
certain faiths. So I looked at it like that. I'm like, oh, there's another denomination. Okay, yeah,
Well,
that's interesting.
you look at Moon Knight. Jed McKay did the same thing. He
Ah,
introduced
right.
the right
Yeah.
hand,
Yeah, the right hand of Khonshu.
or whatever left. I can forget which ones he's right or left hand.
Oh yeah, I think it's the
Yeah,
left hand of Khonshu. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And so it's like this whole entire time we've had Moon Knight, and I realized that he's not it. He's only one hand. He's not the other tip. It's like, so I mean, I appreciate when they bring out tropes of that, and not bastardizing the character, by making him inferior compared to the other one. So, all right, so well, let's go up to Undead Quinn is number 4 is Merca Andolfo Sweet Paprika number 12. I hope that is a lot better than the Red Sitha or Red Sonia books that she's working on, because I remember Skip, you're talking about, you were reading that stuff, Sweet Paprika. So obviously it's doing well over there. I just made the case that this person just doesn't know how to write Red Sonia, or she was asked to
could
write
be
that
as
version.
simple as that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, same thing with Christopher Priest. Christopher Priest is a good writer. I just don't think he's a good match for Red Sonja, or not. Not Red Sonja, but Vampirella. But that's all opinionated. Anybody can say that they don't like something, another person likes it, and that's the joy of being a human being. We're allowed to have free will. But all right. So I'm gonna go to my number. My number.
Yeah.
4.
What do you got?
Number 4. It's a book that's just finally been waiting for the next volume to come out. It's a little crazy. Some would say it's a little bit. Let's see if I can get down to the book. It's gonna be pretty far down.
Curious now.
It's a little erratic, I'd say.
I guess you could say that.
All right. I don't know where I didn't know where to put this on my list, because I'm like excited to read it, but I'm also back. The rational part of my back of my hand's like, all right, now I'm excited to read this. It may turn out to be not as good as the other books that I'm reading. That's going up against. It's kind of sucks when you have like a multiple. I have many books in my pull list so this week. So I was like, it's not fair to compare them up to the like say if I had Ram v Batman. I am excited for Ram v Batman, but I'm also excited for Erratic.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a limited 4-issue thing, so I'm really hoping that Carrie Andrews just knocks it out of the park with number 1 again, and just continues going strong all the way through. And I mean, because it's been a while since I read this book. I remember liking it, but I thought it was also kind of cool because this character basically has like a 15-second time limit, and then his powers stop, or something like that. Or is it 10 seconds?
10 minutes.
Was it 10 minutes? I thought it was like 10 seconds.
Yep, 10 minutes.
Yeah. And I thought that's so cool because the last time I heard anything like that was like back in the day with the Human Torch. He only had like so long he could stay as a torch before he basically run out. His powers would run out, and then he'd have to rest.
Right.
So I love that you build a character around that word concept. The fact that this is a kid who got powers and asked for powers, but he can only use them for a limited time, and now he's thrust into being a hero when he doesn't want to be a hero, and is dealing with being in high school now, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I said, that is cool. And as many people have said before, it just feels like Spider-Man in that sense. You're getting a character. So you're getting another teenager who basically gets powers, has to deal with it, keep it a secret, and also has to balance two lives. It's just and also a possible new love interest.
Right.
Like I said, this is the Spider-Man of our day. This is what Spider-Man if he'd been created today versus created back then.
Definitely.
And like I said, the cover is just awesome. The art in this, Carrie Andrews with the faces, some of the kids, the giant eyes. It looks kind of like chibi form to me sometimes. It kind of creeps me
Yeah, it
out.
gets chibi-esque for sure.
But overall, the story's been great. And he's got Brian Rebar. I'm not sure if Brian Rebar was on the original book or not.
He was.
Colorist.
Brian Reber is the homie. Yep, and he was on the original as well.
We got Mike Deodato coming back on this cover right here. Look at this.
And I actually really like that cover from Deodato. I'm a big critic of Deodato these days, but
Yep.
that's a solid cover.
Dude, I'm getting like vibes of Spider-Man and Batman, kind of, or Nightcrawler. Actually, look at the tail, because remember that was a joke. The girl here always calls him Rat Boy.
Right, that's right. Yeah.
But I like the original cover, but I'm like, this cover there, it just takes the cake for being a variant. Even though I really love, Carrie Andrews does the main cover, the bright colors, the background. It's just very like, this would I expect to be a cartoon coming out, on like a Saturday morning cartoon, erratic,
Mhm.
I really hope that this character takes off, and I would love to see maybe crossover, because Upshot was building their own little superhero world. So I'm hoping that he starts crossing over with other comic books, because right now I'm not reading a lot of Upshot books, but if Upshot starts creating their own little superhero verse, having crossover, I'm gonna read it because Erratic's in it.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm sure Ash has said this before, but I'm saying it again. If you're gonna build a superhero verse, build it around him being your flagship character. Spider-Man was the opposite choice for Marvel, because it's just the simplicity of the character and the fact that everybody could basically not only identify with him, as far as being a teenager growing up, in a universe like this, but it's just the fantasy of it. If you're a teenager, you're reading this, you're a kid, you're a 10-year-old, 15-year-old, reading this, like, what would you do if you had powers for 10 minutes? Would you use it for good or bad? And then just throwing the whole logic effect that, hey, I have powers. It's just kind of cool. And it's like, so, and then it also has that manga feeling too, the way he writes a book. You're not getting any filler. You're not getting in any. I guess I don't want to say politics. I mean, if anything, this book felt conservative, or right down the middle.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
like this book, that it definitely. And you know what's funny? I don't like. I was thinking about it, especially after England Team was talking about it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that it really felt. I'm not sure that it really felt conservative. It felt more conservative, but really, I think it felt more centrist, and it was just kind of like,
Well,
are you letting people like wash your brains to the point where you're not realizing what's going on, and you're kind of just parodying, what's going on, or parroting what's going on instead of thinking for yourself?
yeah. I mean, the way I would describe it is not really as politics, and more just the fact that this, like, imagine you're a teenager, and the world's crazy now. Growing up right now. If I was a teenager, and I'm just looking at everybody, like, I got the view on the right and the view on the left, they both seem crazy to me.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's like, and that's kind of how you get from this character. He's going to school. It's like, what the hell's going on here? it's like literally, that's how I would feel going if I was a kid like that. It's like, so I love they threw that in there, because a normal kid today. I mean, I hate I'll try to bring in real world politics, but like, going to school today is a lot different than it was back when we were going to school.
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
It's like everything, take away all the new technology, all that stuff. Just the fact that how some of these whack job teachers are now compared to where they were back then. They weren't allowed to do all this stuff. So it's like you're going into high school. It's like, and then throwing on top of this, now you got superpowers. It's like, crap. It's like,
right.
I think Peter Parker went off himself. Would have been done.
Dude, he might have. That's why we need Erratic, right?
Yeah,
to do what Peter couldn't do.
And it makes sense.
To deal with what Peter couldn't deal with.
The title is perfect for the society he lives in. It's erratic. They're all crazy.
Yeah. Yep. They're all erratic. But yeah, no, that's a great pick. I really enjoyed reading that book first time around.
Yep. What's up, Ash? Hey, second
stream. Oh, Ash is in the stream. What's up, Ash? Oh, snap. Trinity's in here too. What's up, Trinity 3?
I didn't know that. All right. So let's go to your, I believe it's your number 3.
Number 3. Did Undead Quinn put his number 4 in?
He has his number 4 in. It was I read it off first. That was in the Sweet Paprika number 12.
Okay, Sweet Paprika number 12. Right on.
Yep,
okay. Yep. And on that note, let me jump back over. And so my number 3 for this week is... Actually, it's going to be what your number 4 was. It's Erratic Recharge number 1.
You really are his twin. Because I was going to say this, like, he's going to say, you could just stayed on that page.
No, it seriously could have. I mean, so we won't have to talk too much about it, but yeah, I mean, I'll just share. I was obviously an early adopter of it because I know Brian Reber, and I had never really read anything from Carrie Andrews before, but I appreciated. It's actually perfect that Trinity is here right now, Second Street Marvel. Because
so like who's Trinity? I'm looking for a girl. Like,
oh no, it's a unisex name, man.
Matrix ruined it for me, okay? Matrix ruined it for me.
But yeah, I forgot about that. Good point. Carrie Ann Moss. But yeah, so I bought it really to support him and to support Brian Reber, and I liked the book that you and I both read from Brian Edward Hill, Chariot. So I was like, oh, this is a perfect opportunity to support AWA Upshot. And going through it and reading it, I think Trinity and I Second Street Marvel and I ended up talking about it. And I didn't know about the rest of the universe that got rolled out. So he ended up sending me Resistance by J. Michael Straczynski. And I forgot who did the art on that one. So that way I can actually get caught up on like how the superheroes were being rolled out within AWA.
Straczynski writing a superhero thing outside of Marvel and DC. Now I'm curious. I didn't know he was one of the writers.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yep. And yeah, Trinity hooked me up. He like sent it to me, and man, I was like, I was just hoping that he could find copies for me that I could read, but dude really like just hooked me up and just sent it to me. So forever indebted to Second Street Marvel from that.
Trinity, I'm available for books too. If you want to send books my way.
Yeah, he that's a really like and I don't know if you check out Second Street Marvel channel, but that's a really good channel to check out if you are interested in indies, because he talks about like I don't know anybody who talks about indies more than Trinity outside of like you know, me, you, and Ash. Really, he talks about a whole bunch of them. So if you want to learn about some really awesome Aftershock books, and actually he even talks about like Dynamite and stuff, RDD, you might want to go over there and check them out.
All right, we'll collab on here. Who knows?
Heck yeah. But anyway, that's my number 3 book, Erratic 2 Recharged.
Undead Quinn going number 3 of his number 3 is gonna be Agretsuko. Out to Lunch launches number 2. That's the one with the little like animals, right? That violent little animals.
Trying
to think.
What was the name of it? The animal.
Greg Gretsuko, or I don't know.
Oh, I think so. I haven't read it.
I've seen the covers. I've never read it, but I'm trying to think of it. I'm gonna scroll down, see what it is. It's in here. Sweet paprika. Uh,
While you're waiting for that, Ash says his number 5 is Batman 127, RDV's copy. So that's his number 5 book for the week.
number 5, man. I'll just say that. That might be your number 1 once you read it, though. Just saying.
Possibly. I haven't read it yet. My shop didn't get any copies of Batman, and then like the big shop out here hadn't gotten their shipment yet, and it's 117 degrees in Sacramento today, so I'm not leaving the house until later.
I got to like 70 here today. I was sweating.
Oh man, you would be a fried RDV if you were in Sacramento. While we were talking, because like we knew it was gonna be record heat today,
yeah.
And I was like, oh, finally, it's not the peak heat, but it's 115.
Yeah.
So I walked outside in the direct sunlight because I'm like, this is historical for our city. I want to feel what 115 degrees feels like, and yeah, it's pretty hot.
115 degrees. Imagine that in San Francisco.
Dude, San Francisco was 92 earlier. Like they almost never get above like 78. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is nuts. Anyway, did you find that? I see that.
Yeah. The little characters, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Onipress, yeah. There's
Simone. Okay, right.
Yeah, but it's based off, I think, an anime that's on, at least cartoons, something like that. It's on Netflix. They have a bunch of these
okay.
TV series you can watch too. All right, so. And also, for those who are wondering, Shudder, yes, is a spectacular magazine out every month or bi-monthly. All right. My number 3. I gotta go back up now.
While you're going up, Ash has his number 4 book as That Texas Blood, number 17. And he also says he gave Batman 126 a rare 5-star review on his existent YouTube channel.
Oh, I wish I could have found that. But it does exist.
Yeah, it's a existent channel, so good luck on that. He's got number 3, a Starhedge, number 3.
Yes.
What you got, buddy?
All right, guys. A Town Called Terror, the final issue of this series by Stephen Niles.
Nice.
Simone Kudransky.
Simon Kudransky.
Yes. This is a book that just caught me off guard. I was just browsing books one day. I was like, what is this? And I was like, Steve Niles. And I clicked on here. I was like, oh my gosh, the guy who does 30 Days by Night, So I was like, you know what, I'll check this out. And then as soon as I saw the on previews, I saw like the interior art. And I was like, dude, I'm sold. I had no idea who Seisman is, or whatever, like a Kudransky or whatever. I had no idea. So I clicked in there. I was like, this art is great. And like, this is a horror thing too. Like, it's Town Called Terror. Like the whole concept. Like the guy, without spoilers, the guy gets abducted. He's just got done making sweet love to his wife. Gets abducted out of his own house, put in his limo, and told his father wants to meet him. And goes into this town that nobody else can see. And I guess it's filled with minor spoiler. The town is filled with monsters. So and if you see the cover art here, that's the same art you're getting on the interior. And like I said, it's a short, straight to the point kind of book. The art just really, you don't even, a lot of times you don't even get the dialogue. You'll just see a lot of art, which is great too. It's a quick read. But the art, just looking back and looking at it, it's just fantastic. This is I wouldn't mind this being a movie actually, but it probably never will be. Close to probably get to being on TV will be like Outer Limits. if they bring that back.
Right.
And then just cover B covers. It basically look like a little journal thing or file thing here. No pads. It's all done. It's all done by the same guy. The artist does both covers, which in a sense I'm like, I'm so used to like big books, like, or having like or any books like having multiple variants, so like by different artists.
Hmm.
But I was like, you know what? I'm kind of fine with that because I'm not getting like a 1 in 50 for something really cool cover. Like,
Right.
I mean, the only complaint with these covers is that each one has like a different thing. I would have loved like if they each like built a body at the end, put them together, and you have like here's a hand to hand, another hand, like a build a figure. Like,
That'd be pretty interesting.
yeah, but it's just no, it's just random things. They're not the same. So, but yeah, I got Ash to read this. Ash said he really enjoyed it. He's looking forward to the number 6 as well, I believe. Yep, yep. He just says it's a fun read.
Yeah, if
Uh,
you're
I
digging horror and Simon Kodransky's art together,
yeah,
I
you
still
hear that?
recommend Nidaha's Nightmare blog from
I
Image
checked.
Comics.
Yeah, so I checked that out the other week. When you were talking about this a couple weeks ago, and I
Hmm.
checked that out. I was like, I couldn't believe they're on issue 14. I'm like, I thought it was issue 1. I was like, dang it.
Oh, Nidaha's? No, they're just on issue 8.
I mean, we were issue 8. Sorry, not 14, but
Hmm.
I was just throwing a
Hmm.
number out there because it's not like it's obviously not close to 1. It's up there.
No, yeah, the
Yeah,
first trade just wrapped up a few months ago, and they took like actually no, it finished earlier this year, and they took a few months off, and then they hopped right back to it. Kodransky does more of the latter half, so it starts off with the artist named Well
yeah,
B, who has a kind of a similar art style to Jason Sean Alexander. So you get really good art all throughout, and the story is good, and it's interesting. I like the cultural I like the cultural effect that it put on the horror, but also making it like if you
yep,
don't know like some of the background of blues and like Robert Johnson and all that stuff, you can still just appreciate the modern day pieces of it too. But yeah, Town Called Terror.
yeah.
I
It's
said it
it's
was a fun little read.
yeah. It's not. It's a dark thriller. I mean, it is. It is. What's a little kid? It might be a little scary, but we don't recommend this for kids though. But as you can see, each cover goes up. His little images,
Oh
hands,
yeah,
and
I could
stuff.
see that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, I'd skip. I would check it out. Maybe something you might like it. No, I know you like the artists. No,
Yeah, and I'm interested in Steve Niles. I probably will
it
check it
just
out in trade
captures the
eventually.
whole feeling of the whole like book too, like his art.
Hmm.
It's a whole thing. It's like that's what makes it so perfect. Um,
Yeah, I like Simon Kodransky. I'm not like the biggest Simon Kodransky
yeah,
fan, but it's funny around the time that I started to discover him, I just remember people speaking quite unfavorably about him, and yeah, I get that he can kind of make the faces kind of look like doll faces sometimes, but and some of his stuff gets quite digital with like
yeah,
the blurry effects of the background and all that stuff. But I think it's good. I think it has dimension. I think it's just put him on the right book. Yeah, he probably doesn't belong on Superman. So when he was writing it, when he was drawing it with Bendis, like yeah, it wasn't a great fit. But you put him on a noir book, a book with a lot of blacks that's dark. You can put him
yep,
on something like this, a dark thriller like Ash said. Put him on horror. Yeah, put him on even like a crime noir. He would probably do well enough because it's if it takes place at night, it's going to be very black, and he just does a really great job with blacks and depth.
it's his art is he excels in it. Now taking him outside of that, putting him on like another title that has nothing to do with like dark or terrific or kind of supernatural stuff, it don't
Right.
really fit.
Exactly.
So all right,
Yeah.
so that was my number 3. Did anybody Ash hit Starhenge number 3? Was his number 3? Did Quinn post his number 3 at all? Okay, we already read it off. Okay, cool.
Hmm.
All right, so let's get to your number 3 there. Or no,
My number
or actually no,
two,
number 2 actually. It's my bad.
all good. My number two is one that has already been mentioned a little earlier, and it is That Texas Blood, number 17.
All right, this is the fun part though. You guys pick up books are like way at the bottom. So
Hey
I'm like,
man, indie life for you. But there it is right there. right next to
Yeah.
Starhenge, and right next to a town called Terror. Actually, you didn't have to go too far after all.
Which is kind of cool because they
Uh,
all have the same kind of art cover style. You notice that?
yep. Yep. And this one is a serial killer, thriller, crime story. That Texas Blood has been a really good setting to tell different phases of stories kind of within that small town Texas setting. And I'm really, really enjoying what Chris Condon is doing with the script. It's very tense. um, I wouldn't say it's decompressed, but it is a slow burn. And within it, he makes the dialogue very juicy. The people very much sound like, true to life people. So it makes it more digestible as you're waiting for the different plot points to roll out and whatnot. He's doing a good job of really making the city feel lived in. I get the sense now that these people are like neighbors of mine, and I'm maybe a less well known resident of the city, kind of watching things play out like a fly on the wall. But Jacob Phillips, if you've read New Bern and you're like, man, that Jacob Phillips art's a little rough, that Texas Blood is where you're going to see him really take his time, really put his all into his line work and his colors, as well as the lettering too, because just like his dad does the lettering.
That's freaky
But you're
right
gonna
there.
yeah, you're gonna watch it all shine. I love the cover of number 17. So really excited on
He kept the concept that
reading it.
it's 88, so that's the style razor you had.
hmm Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah, you stayed true to life with that too. Those are more of the style of razors that you had back then. So it's just been a really awesome book, and especially I think this of all the ones that I've read, this story arc has been, it feels the most focused, and you can feel them really finding their groove here with this
Yes.
particular run. So
It's based off a true
I
story.
advise it. Oh, is that right?
Yeah, Eric QK. That's very similar to someone else we know.
RDV.
Yes.
But yeah, check it out. Highly advise it. And if you want to catch up, if you don't mind reading digital, there's 199 per issue, so it's a cheap way to catch up on a series for half price.
These are $4 usually.
hmm
Um, eventually they'll probably hit trade soon. They have like 4 more issues
Yeah.
or something like
Yeah,
that before the
actually,
volume
I'm
wraps
not
up.
sure because it didn't say in this one, and they haven't had a set issue count quite yet for arcs. Like the first arc was kind of like normal. I want to say it was like 5 or 6 issues, and then the second one kind of meandered a little bit, and then there was like a Christmas issue, and this one. So there's really no telling, but I'll tell you what I will tell you is that the ride has been worth it.
I was just saying, as far as collected in the volumes, I'm sure it's gonna be like a second volume. They've already had volume one come out already.
I believe they have. I've been buying the singles, so I don't remember off the top of
Yeah.
my head.
All right. So let's go up to here. It looks like we got Undead Quinn saying his number 2 is Poison Ivy, number 4 cover B, Jenny Frison cover, stock variant. That's the only cover you can go for. We can include that. Um, Jenny Frison's actually been kicking it, kicking ass. Any cover she does. One of the very talented cover artists of her generation.
Yeah,
Not just
she is awesome. I am wanting her to kind of switch up her style just a little bit now because I feel like I don't know if there's a lot of
yeah.
variation in the covers, but
Look at that.
she
That
is
that
she is good, and I do own some of her covers.
that looks like a stained glass window or picture you could put in.
It does. It does. This one I like a little more, but yeah, they always they kind of tend to be portraits, and I just
True.
kind of like her to maybe maybe get outside of
I
that a
mean,
little bit,
compared to
show
the
a little
main
more
cover,
range.
this is the main cover. Main cover doesn't
hmm
looks cluttered, you know. Uh,
Yeah, it looks a little
and
unfocused.
yeah, that and then here's the 1 in 25. So, well, it looks okay.
Yeah, that one's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, hers is definitely the most ornate.
Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. It's gonna go down to my number 2. Actually, no. Ash is coming in with his number 2, saying Prodigy number 3.
Okay.
Cool. Cool.
Prodigy number 3.
All right. All right. My number 2 is actually right here. It's Batman 127.
Hey, hey.
Uh, that is just a fun book. They changed artists, right? Is Belen Ortega wasn't the normal artist on the second one.
Correct. It
Yeah.
was well, you know what? That might be for the backup story because they still
Yeah,
have
yeah,
Jorge
because it
Jimenez
was
right there.
yeah. That's the thing. The if it go back, I won't. It's just gonna keep loading.
Yeah, because the backup story. Actually, I don't remember who the backup story has been for Batman.
Chip
I
Zdarsky's
have
been Selena Kyle.
Chip Zdarsky's been writing it, but I don't remember who
Yeah,
the artist is. I know Danny was the backup artist for the Detective comic story, but so all I know.
all right. So, let me really reload this. Internet's acting up.
Darn internet.
Could
Get
good
it
site though.
together, internet.
So I'm just waiting for the site to go. All right, go back in here. There it goes. Go back in on this thing. I was gonna show the other variant cover I was getting. Uh, main cover. I don't like the nose thing. Kind of bothers me.
I wasn't big on it either. That was the thing
Yeah,
that was kind of sticking out to me about the. I don't love the cover as a whole, but I mean it's not a bad cover, and I like the expression on Batman's face. But yeah, the how wide the nose on the cowl
yeah,
is
yeah.
was a little.
This it's got the same kind of nose, but it looks a lot better when it's not close up like that. This is the B cover. I just love how it looks like very 80s, early 90s. As far as
Yeah, that's dope.
uh,
That almost looks a bit
lines.
like
Yep,
a Vertigo cover.
yep. He's got the claw marks and everything. He's just in the sewers. It has nothing to do with the book, but it's still a cool cover.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
yeah, and then if you want to, there's a 125, the in hook Lee cover
And
with
Hughley.
Catwoman. And then
I generally like Hughley.
yeah,
Generally,
there's the Jacques cover, which is really cool.
I am not a Jock fan, but I like
But
that cover.
it's 1 in 50 though. As I was like, dang it! It's like I don't like to pay that much. It's
Oh
like,
wow.
but I love the detail.
Absolutely. What are you thinking of the series so far? The two issues that have come
Uh,
out so far from Chip.
I think this is the better issue, and you're starting to seeing it bad as far as for Chip. It's improving. Uh, as far I mean, comparing it to the Ram V though, it's like which one do I like better? it's like I love the Ram V stuff, but I'm liking Zdarsky's a little better.
Okay, cool.
Maybe because it's Zdarsky is more action paced. It's more where the other one with Ram V, it's more like you're getting slower detective, kind of supernatural kind of ish.
Hmm.
So like I said, it's right now. Honestly, the my favorite book I've been enjoying out of these is basically been the Batman Beyond stuff. You know,
Okay.
as much as I love Zdarsky and Ram V Beyond Batman, I like the Batman Beyond year. It's been a fun book. I guess I just like Terry McGinnis more than I like Bruce Wayne. I think I'm just tired of
You
Bruce Wayne.
definitely do. You always rant and rave about Batman Beyond
I
and Terry McGinnis.
I just feel like there's so many Batman books out there with so much of Bruce Wayne that it's refreshing to see somebody else under the cowl. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna, when I say that, don't be like, "Well, there's Jace. You don't like him?" No, I mean like someone who actually like is still working with Bruce, not someone who's basically like ripping off Bruce, stealing his identity.
Right,
Uh,
right.
um, Yeah, Failsafe has been an interesting thing. They brought back another Batman, Batman of Zur and Arth. Uh, so it's I think he's I'm not sure where he's appeared in before. I think it was probably in the mid 2000s they brought him in, or it might be in the 90s characters for all I know.
Oh, that's I know Grant Morrison had I think Grant no, I don't think Grant Morrison created it, but Grant like I think it was an older thing, but Grant Morrison kind of brought it back and took it to the next level of what it was, and then
That's it.
Scott Snyder
Yeah,
also used it in metal, I believe.
Dick Sprang and France Huron are the creators of this guy.
There we go. Yeah,
Yeah.
Batman of Zern are
So I'm
Zern
assuming they're
are
saying Batman Last Rights is 683.
683. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, it's been an interesting ride. As far as this, the whole failsafe robot, basically, the whole thing is like it ties into the Tower of Babel. That's where failsafe comes from. Definitely check out this book. I mean, if you don't wait on it, this book is actually pretty good, and this actually makes me like I like Bruce in this book, and I like having I believe it's Tim Drake in this. I think it's Tim
Tim is
Robin
Tim,
in
yeah,
this one. Yeah, Tim Drake.
Tim, yeah.
And the other great thing is like I have a Tim Drake Robin story here, but I don't have like Tim being like, oh, where's Bernard? None of that crap. Nightwing's in
Bernard.
this. Oracle. It's just a fun book. So definitely recommend this. There's only one book that I thought was better than this week. So, which I think I'm more excited to read that. But let's go to your let's see. Anybody else have any other books coming up? Nobody else has your list. Okay. All right. We'll do is have you count up, do your from five to two, and then give us your number one.
All right. So book number 5 was load page. Book number 5 was Mind Management. Number 3. Book number 4 was Sword of Azrael. Number 2. Book number 3 was Erratic. Number 1. Erratic Recharge. Number 1. Book number 2 was That Texas Blood. Number 17. And book number 1 was your book number 2, Batman number 127,
All right.
by good old Rip Zdarsky and them. Definitely want to see what they do with Batman
Can't
of
remember the name anymore.
Zur-En-Arrh.
Yeah, is there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nalo. It was a huge fan of the Grant Morrison run and how that character was used. So he was very, very animated when seeing that character and not sure if it was going to be respected or not, looking like the character had just been thrown in there. So now it got me all interested to see if it's just kind of like a fake out and a quick, like wink and a nod, or if there's going to be more significant use of the character. And in addition to, just issue 126 was just so, like hanging on by the seat of your pants, full of action, people getting wrecked, and whatnot. So naturally, I want to, enough people got away. Batman was able to get away and kind of try to regroup, and he went into a certain place, and his backup plan for such an attack was to open up the treasure chest and let Batman Zur-En-Arrh back out. So now we got to see how he'll be
Yeah.
utilized. But
Yeah.
that's my number one.
To him saying that he's that Batman, he's from a planet that got run by robots. That's why he's a failsafe to kill this robot.
Okay, well that would make
So
sense.
he's basically all Batman, no Bruce Wayne, just purely just wants to kill robots. That's the vibe I'm getting here. It's like Bruce can't do it, so he brings in another Batman who's an expert is killing robots.
And that makes sense. Yeah, I mean the way that he
He's
was,
Kyle Reese.
describing it is like, yeah, he's Kyle Reese. Yeah, it definitely seemed like he was. about to let himself go and give himself over to, you know, Batman's R&R. So yeah, let's see it. Let's see it. But my only thing is,
yeah.
as big of a deal as like Failsafe was kind of made out to be, I hope like if Failsafe gets dealt with right now, I hope that he comes back around later because I don't want him to be I want him to get taken out just in a matter of in a matter of 3 issues. But we'll see.
Yeah,
Ship's
I
got my
mean, and
attention.
then the Catwoman story is supposed to tie into what's going on with the failsafe too. This and apparently for the previous this issue. So
Oh,
hopefully,
okay, cool.
you enjoy that. I mean, hope you enjoy the lettering. You know, you like lettering.
Let's
I
see
mean,
who's
two different
lettering this
Batmans.
one. Oh, it's Clayton Cowles. Clayton Cowles is solid. Not
Yep.
like a huge fan of Clayton Cowles lettering, but
All
serviceable.
right. All right. So it looks like Undead Quinn saying his number one is Ghost Rider number 6. Still reading that. Oh, I'll have to check that out. Is that back to being Johnny or is this Danny? So last I knew, Danny was like the ruler of hell. He'd overthrown Miss Fist or something like that. So,
I'm out the loop on that.
yeah. Same here. That's on my. All right. Benjamin Percy taking Ghost Rider in of Marvel's books better. Their books. Okay. I've never been a big huge Benjamin Percy person. I've read a few stuff from DC, but I wasn't sure what kind of a writer he was. If he was like more like a John Ridley, or was he like like a Jed McKay, or is he just like a person who just writes certain thing? He's going to write one certain type of story and that's it. No, but let's see here. We got Ash is saying Erratic True Charge number 1. Of course, it's going to be his number 1 book. If you thought it was going to be Batman, no. But he is saying that you should be buying one of the 2 books you should be buying out of here is both Batman books. Plus he charged. Eat ready. All right. All right, so it's gonna come down to mine. My number 5 was Blade Runner Black Lotus. Number 2, Erratic Recharged. Number 1 was my number 4. My number 3 was A Town Called Terror, issue number 6. And my number 2, which is Batman 127. And my number 1 book of the week that I'm really looking forward to reading is if it scrolls. It is Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths. This is a little story. It's been getting better and better. Williamson, I love Williamson writing on here. Not only that, we get the JSA in here too. It's always great to see the JSA in a DC book, and they're not being made fun of. They're actually because that's the one thing we hate. Like you're like, hey, they should know the JSA book. Well, current DC, don't ask what you don't always get what you want. And then not only that, you get Flash and Green Lantern teaming up here. Wally, or it's not Wally, it's a Flash. This is confusing too. Barry Allen. For those who've been reading the pages of reading Jeremy Adams' Flash, Wally West freed Barry Allen of his little prison that was created for him. The Justice League are on little planets. They're created by Pariah, and so Barry is basically running through the different planets, trying to get free people, and so him and Hal Jordan are going to team up because Hal Jordan had gone in the last Dark Crisis, had gone into one of the Green Lantern worlds, so that's cool seeing Barry and Hal joining forces again. That of the JSA, more about Nightwing, the Legion of Doom are in this issue because you saw Black Adam go to the Legion of Doom at the end of the last issue. And then Pariah, and so said and so I was reading a synopsis or somebody who did a review of the past few issues. They said literally this is Dark Crisis Infinite Earths, but it feels like it's a build up to an even bigger event. Like this is like the a prelude, and in a sense it does. I mean, we're more than halfway basically. There's only 3 more issues after this, so I'm kind of excited to see where they're going to go with this. But also at the same point, I'm like, what are they gonna do here? Are they gonna reset everything? What's gonna go with DC? There's also rumors people talking about with various the guy who's running the Warner Brothers part of DC, the movies, Is he going to step in and deal with the comic books, or does he have control? Is he going to, but Williamson knocking out the part. I'm getting Barry Allen Flash and and Hal Jordan Green Lantern teaming up and chiding each other. So yeah. This is basically my number one. I hope you guys are enjoying the books that you're reading. If you're not reading books, I hope you guys take into account of the books that we showed you off today, and maybe try them out. And just because a book's in issue 8 or issue 14 doesn't mean you can't just go back and find it for digitally as far as reading it, as far as Comixology, or even if you have the Marvel DC app, sometimes wait a couple months, the books come out. But the other cool thing is you can binge read books now. Once they're out for a couple issues, which I find sometimes much more fun to do. But then you got to wait again. It's like watching TV episodes. I usually wait 4 or 5 episodes that I watch them. But yeah, that's so. All right. Anybody else have anything else? Ben Percy equals poor man's snot writer.
Did we get? Yeah, that's out there. We got Undead Quinn. His number 1 book was Ghost Rider number 6. Did we call that one out?
Yeah.
Okay, and you got Ash. Okay, Richard. Okay, all right, cool. No, we knocked it all out.
As everybody can see, there's a lot of books coming out this week. We got another Moon Knight by Jed McKay, which has been fun. She-Hulk's coming out this week. Flashpoint Beyond. I think it's the last issue with Jeremy Adams and Jeff Johns.
I'm still grabbing the new Fantastic Four by.
Yep.
Gosh, seriously, am I really forgetting his name right now? Peter David, thank you. Oh, yes. I was almost said Ricky Bobby. I was looking for a 2 first name. Peter David.
James Dean.
James D. Yeah, James D. Yeah.
Yes.
It's pretty legit. Yeah, I'm only getting 6 books this week. I'm not getting 2. Man.
Number 4 comes out for new Fantastic Four, you said. Which is getting better with each issue. It started off rough, but it's getting slowly getting better, in my opinion. Batman Beyond Near You is ending. This is the last issue by Kelly and Lansing. Poison Ivy number 4 is out this week. It was on Undead Quinn's list. Captain Miracle, Sentinel of Liberty is also this week too, which is by the same creators. So we were just doing the Batman Beyond New York, near Gotham, whatever. That's out. Walking Dead, issue 46. Shazam, I'm picking up. I'm enjoying it for what it is. I understand people are like, Mary Marvel being, the new Shazam while Billy's off doing whatever. It's only 4 issues. I don't think it's gonna stick, so not too offended by that. No, but I feel bad for the people who do love watching or reading about Shazam and stuck with someone who's not I would hate Freddie Freeman to be the new Shazam. This book by him, I can't stand the character. maybe people like him, but yeah. Dear Detective number 1. This is a book I was looking at too. It come out this week. Another Batman book. Never heard of this person. Lee Bergamo.
Lee Bermejo?
Yeah, he's doing the cover, the art.
Yeah, you've heard of Lee Bermejo. You've seen many Lee Bermejo covers. Easily Lee Bermejo from Batman Noel and from Batman, the one with the Batwing in it.
Batman Damned?
Batman Damned, with Brian Azzarello.
So this is his, I guess, his first time writing too.
I think he wrote Batman Noel actually.
I never read that, so
yeah, it's pretty weird. He him and Brian Azzarello kind of have that whole strange, oddity, kind of Odyssey type.
I was looking at this. I was just what happens to when a comics art powerhouse meets one of the greatest books I hear of all time? 1 part prestige art book, 1 part compelling noir tale. It's one of a kind edition, collects some of Leo Barrow's most jaw-dropping Batman covers woven together to tell a story that strikes heart in the darkness of Randy Crusade. So it's I'm guessing he's doing some writing, but he's also doing cover art gallery.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Because
Yeah,
he does a lot of variants. He's definitely one of the best
$8.
artists
Yeah,
at DC, if not the best artist at
yeah.
DC.
So $8 for 56 pages. So I just saw this coming out. So and then here is he does his incentive cover he did, which is really cool.
Hmm. Yep, and so he's one of those people where his covers are what his interiors look like.
He does a lot of the B covers now that I think about it.
Hmm. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why. Okay. So I saw this like I was like 56 pages for $8. I'm like, so if it's all art, if it's all art book collection, that's cool. If it's writing in there, because it says listed as writer, that's what threw me off.
Hmm.
So I wrote, so yeah, so it's basically yeah, it's his first time writing it. I might check this out just for the heck of it, but like, I hope it's like magazine size though. You know, the blank label, the big giant magazine, like they do it for Jock.
Yeah. So he did write Batman Noel, which
Okay,
came out in 20. Hold on, wait. Oh, that's the hardcover. Hold on. The original one came out in 2011.
there's a foil variant, 1 in 50. Jeez, I started $8 book, 1 in 50.
Yeah, I won't be getting that.
So I decided. I mean, we always complain about how there's so many Batman books out. This caught my eye, mainly because it's not Tom King.
That's a good reason to get it. And Lee Bermejo's amazing art is
Yeah,
another reason to get it. Yeah, and he's definitely. I mean, if I'm trying to think of who's a better artist at DC than him, I think he's the best artist at DC.
yeah. So, like I
Like, because
said,
like I said, his interiors look like his covers. He puts all that detail and all the paint and all that stuff. I would like to watch him like render a page because it's so layered and so textured. It just seems like it would take forever.
it's the other guy. He has that the Perillo guy, or his name is. I think his name is Lucio Perillo. I think he's the one who does all the Vampirella covers.
Okay.
Paints these out, and I watch him on Instagram. He basically shows say that he does the painting, everything, real he does, and then he does over, and then he does at the end he does the lacquer, the paintbrush. I'm just thinking like this guy is like, I wonder how long it takes him just to do the actual painting, you know. And then they take that and they shrink it down into a comic book. It was blows my mind because
Right.
he's got a full freaking like board thing, you know, canvas. I was like, dude, that's crazy. But yeah, I saw that's coming out, and like you know, 007 #2 is coming out as well. This book I'm collecting as well. One Two Future is still going, number 729. For all you Alien fans, there's a new book out. Not getting all Avengers. You know. Let's see here. Nubia, not getting that. There's your Multiversity Teen Justice. I wonder like you're enjoying that one. Image #5 is coming out. I got the first two, and then I just stopped collecting it. It's just I just haven't had a chance to really go back and like find anything I really want to read in there. You know, and it's not a new concept. Image has done this before. So, there's Starhenge. Yeah, look at this. It's like the same. It's like the same cover artist. it's,
Holy crap! Yeah. Wow.
X-Men and Moon Girl #1. Ash, that should be your #1.
Oh, they're doing that crossover, huh? Who's writing that one?
Yeah. Probably Kelly Thompson. Oh, Moha. I'm not going to pronounce that. Mohale. Shigo? Ashigo?
Mm-hmm.
David Cutler doing the art with Marika Cresta.
Never heard of the writer before.
Ash and Trinity are talking about Perlo's wife, Carla Cohen, her work. Alien and Ash says aliens doesn't work for me in comic book form. And your boy Trinity said he's gonna read some Once and Future Now. All right. Trying to think there what else is coming out. Survival Street #2. I haven't read the first one yet. Looks crazy though. Evil Ernie facsimile for $4. So that coming out. Oh, and those who've read Jennifer Blood, these characters were killed off in the series, so bring them their own little series written by the guy who butchered Jennifer Blood last, Fred Van Lente.
You really got it out for Fred Van
I
Lente.
mean, when you take a character and you basically call it Jennifer Blood and you don't understand the character, I mean, I read him his other stuff. He's all right, but I just don't understand the people who like take on a character and like this is my take. I'm going to ignore everything that happened before that. I'm just sick of that attitude. Now I said now I can't hold it against him because I'm not sure if it's him doing this or if it's Dynamite saying, you know what, here, put your own spin on this. Ignore continuities. Ignore everything else that happened before that.
Well, nothing happens at a publisher, or very little happens at a publisher without the permission, or at least yeah, I mean, really the permission, or or it gets by the editor. So if it's getting out there, it's
Yeah.
because the editors at the publisher allowed it to happen.
Well, the thing I think get away from the whole writer. These were stupid college-age girls were killed easily by Jennifer Blood because they were hired by this organization, basically the killer, and she just killed them within like 5 minutes. So to bring them back, it's just like why?
I'm kind of interested ever since I saw that was coming out. But that's me. This is like the type of thing that I'm into. I'm like
Yep.
I like B movies. This seems very much like a B movie concept. That's why I like Heavy Metal Drummer
Three
and
rich spoiled
Space
girls. Yeah,
Lady.
yeah, yeah.
Like this is the Machete. Like this is the stuff that like interests me.
Yeah. It's like if it's a one shot, it's like a story. It's like you're giving a background story to characters who were like in the book for like 5 pages. It's like
Hey,
there
there's possibly a story to be told there.
there are three well off to do like girls basically decide, you know what, you'd be really cool. We should just form our own little like hitman team, assassins team. It's like only one of the girls on the team though, if I remember correctly, because I think it was Stephen Grant right at the time. So he took over from
Hmm.
Garth Ennis.
Hmm.
And like only one girl actually knew what she was doing with the weapons, and where the other ones are just too busy looking at their phone. They're the Valley girls, I was just like,
Yeah.
no, just took a girl, like three girls from California, and be like, you know what, I'm a Instagram, media social media influencer, and I'm gonna go start killing people with no training whatsoever.
I mean, there's literally people out there that do that. I mean, to me, it sounds like a combination of like some of the motivations of the Purge
Yeah.
and like you know uh, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Ash says RDV asks why. Do you not see the cover? That's why. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
so
a cheesecake
Second
cover,
Street.
yes. But
Yeah, I mean cheesecake cover from a cheesecake, horror comic. Like it's all in there. I mean, granted, I'm not saying like you should be interested in this, but I am saying like it does like I don't look at this as something that's completely uninteresting. Like I
the
see why this could be interesting, and I happen to be one of the people that's kind of interested in it.
So the other funny trope with this is, and this would get canceled if they kept this trope, was that one of the girls was actually Japanese, Asian, or like that. So they're like this is like, oh, so it's like, aren't you? I think the whole trope was like she actually knew what she was. I think either she knew what she was doing, or they were saying like, aren't you supposed to know this stuff? Like it was like a subtle like racist tone because they're just spoiled like socialites.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I was
So
gonna say the other thing that it kind of reminded me of was the Oren Ishii's bodyguard from Kill Bill, what was her name? Go-Go.
Okay.
Kind of reminds me of Go-Go from Kill Bill. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah, and
young 17-year-old, like
satire.
she's not. Yeah, exactly. I mean, well, yeah, satire, yeah, of course, but like the whole trope is that like some people are just sadistic and evil,
Yeah.
and you can easily look at maybe some like, silver spoon in their mouth type who got it so good that they're bored with their well-to-do life, like they got everything that they want and that's not interesting anymore. They don't want for anything except to not be bored. So they just get a hair up their ass that they're gonna grab some weapons and just start murdering some people. And why should they care about the consequences? When the hell did they ever really deal with major consequences that
Now,
their, parents couldn't get them out of?
now it looks like they're reimagining these characters because, like I said, these girls volunteered for all this stuff. And the description says these college-age women were taught to fit the profile, forced to become deadly expendable assassins. They weren't forced in the original book. They were just a couple wannabes. They're like, oh, let's do this. And like, oh, let's go. Yeah, we'll take on that bitch and her blood. And like, it is like, as she took them out with the like, is it like, the little girl's at the end. She's like, don't kill me, don't kill me. He's like, shut up, bitch. Just kills her.
I like it.
So though if they're doing a spin on this, like they've had Fred did to the last Jennifer Blood, where it was that the daughter wasn't even the mother, even though they call it, it didn't make sense whatsoever if you've read the books. But so yeah, so this is going to be an Elseworld, I guess. That's why I'm going to look at it because it's not out of the pages of Jennifer Blood. it's someone basically said, you know what? Let's take these characters that Stephen Grant just basically ruined, I guess, maybe, and we'll turn them into serious fighting machines. In that sense, it could be cool, three
Maybe,
ninja
or it
assassin
could just
girls.
be like us, like it's probably really just a stupid story. But if it's a stupid story and it's entertaining, that's all
That's
we
the key
really
word. You
need.
said it right there. If it's entertaining, entertaining.
Yeah, that's all it's got to be.
I'm just
It's gotta
saying.
be entertaining.
I am very skeptical because I read the last one, but him chewing the Jennifer Blood thing was not entertaining. So
And that's fair.
yeah,
That's fair and that's valid. If you read it and if it wasn't very entertaining, then that's fair and that's valid. You've got legitimate concerns of why
there's
you should be
there's
skeptical
different
about it.
styles here. Fred Van Lente is more of a campy guy as far as compared to, uh, Stephen Grant and Garth Ennis.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Garth
So,
Ennis Garth Ennis does some camps, but he does more like
but
dark humor and satire.
yes, very dark humor. Yes, that's what. And
Yeah,
then
and Stephen Grant
or
is like more serious, noir kind of
yes,
crime style
and
with a little bit of humor.
then you went to Fred Van Lente with the last Jennifer Blood 12 issue series. I was like, I was reading, I was like, I know it's an art bed, but like, what is this? This isn't Jennifer Blood. so, like I said, hopefully it turns out better.
Mm.
I guess I'll wait for your review on this. And you're reading this book tomorrow. Said,
I might grab it. I just
yeah, all
might
right.
grab it. I'm really interested.
You'll have to let me know how it is, and then I want you to go back and read the Jennifer Blood ones. Tell me how much.
Eh,
You
I'm not the
love
biggest
those.
Jennifer Blood fan, so good luck.
It's all about revenge, bro. And
Mm.
this looks like this basically looks like it's their next video game. Instead of lollipop chainsaw, this is three girls who just run on schoolgirl costumes and just kill people,
Yeah,
which could work.
mhm.
Just saying.
Yeah, absolutely. I've liked stories that had the worse premise than this, so we'll see.
I mean, do they get variant outfits where they're in giant mascot costumes?
Um, actually, in Heavy Metal Drummer, there was a bit of that. There was a little bit of
I'm
dressing up.
thinking I'm thinking of Saints Row when they have like the game show stuff. You put the little heads on. You can be. They can even do this. They can have Hello Kitty costumes. Karaoke and all this stuff.
Oh, that'd be interesting. And then killing Kuroki, killing people. Why
Yes,
not?
she's wearing the little outfit, the frog. Oh, all right. So yeah, so that's it for tonight as far as that books coming out this week. Uh, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and you look forward to us talk about more of these books on Thursday. Dead Quinn says, "Attack of the Killer Gimbals." But yeah, I didn't see anything else in here that was catching my eye. I mean, there's until I saw this, so I thought Cowboy Bebop, the way they do the
Oh,
art.
from until my knuckles bleed. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
There's
the
dang it,
yellow.
I'm trying to think of it. I think the channel's called Indie Comics and Reviews.
Yeah,
It's a dude named Lorenzo. I would say that the three people that talk about indies the most, like, our little group and like shows like this, and then Trinity, Second Street Marvel, and then Indie Comics and Review. Indie Comics and Review. He talks about. I mean, it's in the name of the channel. He talks about a lot of indie comics and pretty obscure stuff, even more obscure than Indie Comics Jones. And he really, really liked Until My Knuckles Bleed. But the way he described it, it just didn't really sound like my quite my kind of story. But
yeah. Guma, the beginning of her. Super Babes, starring Femforce. 12. There's Highball. Oh, this was I was looking at. Connie Christensen is writing her own book called Dark Legacies.
Hmm.
She's an actress, known for doing some other roles, but not really today as much anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But just like basically it says this point in time on Earth, the Earth is emerging from a dystopian past, moving from a brutal government to a regime to democracy. Basically, Commander Steele finds herself caught up in the web of intrigue and as the legacies of the totalitarian past surround her. Dark secrets are uncovered, and all hell is let loose in this all-action blockbuster. It looks like it's a sci-fi. So I was like, looks kind of cool.
Interesting.
And it says 40 pages, but it says, I'm not guessing, this is supposed to be like a £10 or $10 for the United States. So it looks very indie.
Yeah, it does.
It just says other for releases. So I was surprised. I'm like Carly Christensen. Where do I know that character from? It's like I think, is that the girl from Maximum Risk? The Jean-Claude Van Damme? No, it was Nancy Butler. That's the other girl that looks like her too. But
Oh wow, okay. Yeah, I'm not familiar.
Yeah, so I mean, Babylon 5. Okay, thank you. That's what it was. I knew it was something sci-fi. I couldn't remember what it was, but yeah, I mean, she's writing her own first book along with Chris McGauley, which I don't think he's written anything else. No, nothing on here at least. Yeah, so I don't know. I decided to check it out. Maybe it's totally suck, or it could actually be like a decent book. But
could be. Yeah.
He's got Staz Johnson as the artist. He's a British comic book artist. All right, so he's worked on Robin, Judge Dredd. So, okay. All right, so yeah, so at least he got a decent artist too. So, yeah, I just thought I'd check it out. But yeah, so that's it for this week. She looks like the one on the cover she did back in the 90s. She looks similar today. I looked her up, and I was like, I know that the person, Clown Christian. I look it up, and she still looks the same. She's a little older, but British writers, better odds of being good.
You're not wrong, Ash. You're not wrong about that.
Unless it's Simon. Was it Simon Spurrier?
So yeah, but he's Australian, isn't he?
Is he?
I think Sai is.
I know he wrote.
So he's more in the Tom King. I mean the Tom Taylor side of things.
Well, that explains why he sounded like when he wrote Constantine back in the day. I think it was like right around your birth or right before.
Mm-hmm.
But he was writing Constantine, sounding not normal, but then again, so. Australian writers better odds of being bad. There you go.
Yep. There you go, Ash.
British good. Australian bad.
Or at least better odds of being bad.
To Helium, you got to prove the narrative wrong.
Hey, Tom Taylor has his days. Just depends on what
Deceased,
book you put him on. Hopefully, you put him on
yeah.
a Elseworlds book.
The new Deceased book that came out, was it last month? Good issue.
There
He
you
put
go.
him. He put him on Elseworlds. Keep him on that. People love
And
that.
most people are digging his Nightwing. I just hear it's not really going anywhere, but most people are enjoying it.
I guess they like the new Nightmite.
Oh, did that issue come out yet?
I think so.
Okay.
That was last week. But all right, though. That's it for tonight's show. We do ask if you do like this kind of content. We do have a little Ko-Fi link here going across. Ko-Fi.com/Puppetine. It goes towards on this channel where we do readings on here. We also basically just wanted to give you guys a better experience. The money goes towards StreamYard as well. StreamYard is our big thing we use for this. And just if you like this, leave a like. If you're not a fan of this content, let me leave a dislike. Leave a comment down below after the stream. I mean, post your list there, because I'm curious to see what people are reading, what people aren't reading. So,
Ash said India Rider equals better odds of being Romney. Yeah, yes.
jeez,
You're not wrong. I think he's technically British now. Is it place of origin or is it where you live? Because Romsey lives in London now.
I assume most people have houses in LA, but I don't know.
A lot of international comics creators, man. People from all over the
YouTubers having
world.
houses in Los Angeles, California. It's like they're European ones. Jacksepticeye, big YouTuber, has a house in Los Angeles somewhere. Apparently,
yeah, it makes sense for them being, because of
well,
like opportunities and deals
conventions.
and stuff that you can get. Yeah.
If he's British, see my previous comments.
Totally checks out.
All right, let's get going before he starts talking about the Americans.
Oh, Lord, for real. All right, later, everyone. Thanks for stopping by.
See you on Thursday.